I'm going to tag Sean.
Tag Angelique.
Won't let me tag her because we're not friends. Okay. So hopefully some folks come up in here. Well, hi, everybody. It is Monday. I don't know how many of you guys are tired of this hot weather if you live here locally, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the hot weather. I'm ready for fall weather. I'd much rather have it nice and cool in the mornings and cool in the evenings. And I don't mind it being hot during the day, but I like it cool at night and cool in the mornings. Renee, no, you don't have to do that every time. I think once you do that once, it will allow you every time. I think. I don't know. So next week you can try that again. Okay. So I don't want to get too into this until kind of some of our regulars are in here. Let's see. Who can I invite? Who can I invite, you guys? Let's see. Let me see. Let's see. How do I invite? I'm just trying to invite some people that I know would like to hear this. Let's see, Angelique. How about my mother-in-law? I'll try that. Because why not? I'm just going to start inviting. How about that? Sorry for the silence. I'm just trying to get this going here. Okay. So I did get on here a little early, so I didn't have a chance to usually I let people oh yeah, are you tagging Sue? That'd be good. I don't know if she's working, but it'd be good if she can listen. I agree with that. How about I invite, who else can we invite? I like this. It's like a sharing party. Let's see. How about Miss Pam? Let's see. How about my mom? My mom should be in here. Why isn't my mom in here? That doesn't seem right. How about Miss Pam? Let's see. Okay. All right. So if you are in here, go ahead and give me a hello. Let me know that you're here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know that your time is precious, and I'm glad that everybody, can take the time to kind of take a half hour of your night, half hour or 40 minutes of your night of your week to kind of check in and get some encouragement. And this is our, it's kind of like a small group, but it's not, as formal as a small group. So this is kind of just a hangout with some content. You know what I'm saying? Hi, that's my mother-in-law, guys. Hello. So last week we started talking about purpose, because I think when times are tough, when you feel out of control, you can't control your job situation, or you can't control your health, or you can't control your kids or your relationship, when there's things you can't control, I think we lose sight of our purpose. I started having that feeling like when my kids started to get a little more independent and they didn't need me as much. It's like, well, what do I do? I don't know what to do. If I'm not doing for them, what do I do? So we start to lose, our identity a little bit. Or if you're doing the same boring job day in and day out, and a lot of us are doing jobs and are in careers that weren't the plan. But hey, you got to pay the bills. So you go to this job day in and day out, and you're still very unfulfilled because you feel like you don't serve a purpose. You're not doing something for the greater good, so to speak. Yeah, you're helping the company out, and yeah, you get a paycheck, but are you really impacting people? Are you really, what are you doing with the gifts that God gave you every day? Does your job satisfy that or nurture that? Most of the time, no. So we are going to continue our talk about purpose. And just to kind of recap a little bit of last week, we talked about, hang on, let me pull up my notes from last week. So on day one, we talked about we were created for a purpose, and how even as children, we played certain games and we gravitated towards certain things. Like a lot of kids who like to set up their stuffed animals and their dolls, they ended up as teachers because they played school. Or the ones that played work or office are now CEOs of companies or headed that way. We've all been given these interests and these things that God put in us that can help guide us to what he wants for us. So we're going to continue that discussion today, and we're going to talk about gifts from God and what God has done for us. He created each one of us as intricately as possible so that none of us are the same. We all have different talents and different interests and different gifts. And when we go to heaven, God's going to ask, right? What did you do with that? What did you do with what I gave you? Right? So I'll start reading here, the little devotional. It's called Gifts from God. All right. Have you ever stopped to consider how all of the pieces of your life fit together? Whether you realize it or not, God put certain things in your path and gave you opportunities to strengthen different skills so that he could prepare you for your purpose. As a 30-year-old woman, I remember, no, this is not me, not 30 anymore, but it's the author of the plan. As a 30-year-old woman, I remember thinking back on my cheerleading days and wondering how it connected to my adult life. For 13 years, from kindergarten through my senior year of high school, I cheered for my school and led pep rallies. As an adult, I could not see the reason God had forgiven me those experiences. Not long after that, I went to a conference where I heard women speak passionately about leading others to Christ. I thought to myself, I want to do that someday. Right then, God connected the dots for me. Because of cheerleading, I'm comfortable in front of large crowds and able to hold their attention. In all those years, God had been preparing me for the role he created for me. Every one of your life experiences makes you uniquely you. Consider the natural talents God has given you, the different opportunities you've had, and the skills you've acquired. Think about where you grew up, where you've traveled, what you've learned. Maybe you understand different cultures and can relate to people around the world. Or maybe you create art that inspires and moves people to action. The various experiences you've had in your life may seem irrelevant on their own, but together they're leading you towards something meaningful that you can use to glorify God. We see this in the book of Esther, which tells the story of a Jewish woman who is in the unique position to save her people from mass genocide. Even as the wife and queen of the Persian king, she didn't see herself as special or more important to God's plan than anyone else. She was just doing her best to survive. Because of who she was, where she lived, the time she lived in, who she had influence with, and the wisdom God gave her, he used her to save the Israelites from death. There's no question that God has given you skills, talent, education, financial power, status, or influence that is special and unique to you. The question is, how will you use it? You don't have to be in full-time ministry to do God's work. You can work for God in business or in the home, with many or with just a few. Most of us won't be famous someday, but we all have circles of influence and unique gifts that those in our circle of influence need. I'm going to say that again. Most of us won't be famous someday, but we all have circles of influence and unique gifts that those in our circle need. Ask God to reveal how these things equip you for his purpose. So, and that's so good, you guys, because let's see, this Facebook user, let's see, it's a lot of emojis. Is that you, Cappy? I don't have your name on here. um, so, or it's Angelique, but I think Angelique usually shows her name. Not sure who that is. But anyway, what that's saying is that our entire lives, we have been drawn to something, right? We've been drawn to a certain type of people. We've been drawn to a certain profession, a certain hobby, a certain type of TV show, a certain type of church, a certain type of friend, a certain type of relationship, whatever. There's a reason that we are drawn toward certain things. And I think the reason is that God is trying to show you something. He's put that in us, right? So just like in the story, this woman says she was a cheerleader for 13 years, right? 13 years she was a cheerleader. And as an adult, I guess you would probably think, well, why the heck did I cheer for so long? Why did I want to be a cheerleader? It seems like it wasn't for any purpose. Why did I decide that that's what I was going to do? But what she's saying then was, as an adult, she realized, but because of cheerleading, I'm not scared to talk in front of crowds. I'm not scared to use that influence, that talent I have to help grow God's kingdom. She said she wanted to have that influence over people. And she was gifted with this ability to command an audience and to speak in front of, thousands of people. That cheerleading helped that. Right? So we've got to think of in our own lives, what are some of the things that you have gravitated toward or that you do in your daily life that is a talent that is unique to you that you could use to influence other people, to heal their own lives or to make a decision for Christ or to help them through their troubles. You know what I mean? I've done that my entire life. And my mom was on here last week, putting me on blast. Okay. If you missed last week's, go back and see all the stuff my mom wrote about me being bossy when I was a kid, or me always having to be the boss, or, being the teacher, being the leader of everybody, or like the Pied Piper, and I was all about the kids. All the neighborhood kids just followed me around, and that's because then it was bossiness. Okay, like I was bossy, and I can still be bossy. But what that's done in my life now is allowed me to use that assertiveness and use that ability to talk to people and talk to not just individuals, but I can get in front of 1,000 people and talk if I need to. And other people shy away from that. Me, I'm like, give me the mic. I'm good to go. So we all have those talents. We have them there, but are you using them? Let's see. Renee says, it's like when you do the growth track, like the gifts or talents he gave you. That's what's so amazing about the growth track, is because there is a spiritual gifts test. There's things that you have no idea are a part of you. And that growth, that spiritual gift test helps bring that out. It's amazing. So if you have the opportunity to go through the growth track, you should, because it's absolutely amazing. And I think, Renee, you were saying that's deep to this part where it says, but we all have circles of influence and unique gifts that those in our circle of influence need. I guarantee you that each one of you has something that your friends need. Why you have this, and I'm not talking about maybe not all of your acquaintances, because we all have acquaintances, but think about your circle of friends and what you talk about and who comes to you for help or what questions. You have something that somebody else needs, and you have a level of influence in that circle. And you want to influence people to doing things that are good to improve their lives, and then they in tune can help improve other people's lives. It's a chain reaction. It really is. Cappy says horses, horses, horses. True that. I think I said last week. So when I was a kid, I would pretend I was like a 4-H kid, right? If you don't know what 4-H is, it's a program where youth they learn about, things from gardening to raising livestock to the horse program, which of course I was a part of. And you learn how to do shows and raising animals, and so and competing and doing all this stuff. So I was in the horse program. So when I couldn't be at the barn where I wanted to be, what I did was all of my bikes, all the neighborhood kids had their bikes, and I named them after all the horses that were at the barn where I rode. And we pretended that they were horses, and I taught them how to do showmanship and halter group, and that's what I did. So Cappy, I'm right there with you. Renee says music. Yeah, like my daughter's spiritual gift is her heart and music. And I think some people are just born with that talent, and it speaks to them, and it just does. And music speaks to me, and I use it to get through every emotion that I'm going through. But I think for certain people, their gift can be music. And it might not be that you can sing. I can't sing, but I guarantee you I can find a song to send to you that I think will touch you. Different gifts. Cappy also says Beastmaster. I do love animals, and I have and I think they know that I love them, and I make friends with even the unfriendly. So I will make friends with every animal. I will try anyway. And that's bit me in the butt literally a couple times. I'm trying to do that. So there are some scriptures in here that just kind of go along with this. So Romans 8:28 says, and we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. So simple, very simple. It uses the word purpose right in there. That's a very simple verse, and it's great. We know that God causes everything to work together. Where you are right now is not a mistake. It's not an accident. There's a purpose for you being where you are right now. So even when you feel totally beat up on, you lose your job, you go through a breakup, something is wrong, the washer breaks, the car breaks, the truck, whatever, there's always things that are happening. You feel like, God, I can't take any more of this. It's not God doing that. God's put you in this position for a reason. Now, what are you going to do with it, with what you know, to navigate your way through it is what the issue really is. Because, we say this all the time about choosing joy. Now, I could wake up every day and give you a long list of stuff that I can complain about. A list. It's a long list, okay, of things that I am not happy about in my life, things that I would love to change, right? There's tons of things I would love to change. However, that's not going to solve the problems. So what's me sitting around being miserable all the time? What's that going to solve? And it's an ongoing thing. And I've dealt with depression, and I've, sought out therapy and things. And because there were times where I felt like I couldn't handle it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Trust me. I advocate for mental health care. But at some point you've got to say, okay, this is what the issue is. I can't do anything about it right this second. So I'm not going to be angry all day. I'm going to admit it, quit it, forget it, and choose joy. So let's see. Cappy says, everyone's growth depends on love. This world cannot function without it. Right now, there's so much. Everyone is so lost and confused. That's why So right now, we're in just very unprecedented times. We're in a time where this pandemic has pulled out stress of a lot of people. You've got racial tension. You have a lot of hate and a lot of anger. And it's so hard to, it's hard to get away from it. And that's why I've limited kind of what I see on social media, because social media can drain you to the point of just depression, and you just got to turn it off. And the news will depress you, so you just want to turn it off. And um, it's we need to learn to pray for each other, and not everyone's going to see eye to eye on certain things, and that's fine. I've had to learn to um, not react when I see things online that I don't agree with, or or to automatically hate someone without a conversation based on what they say. It's just it's a lesson I've had to learn, and we need to learn. We need to seek to understand each other, and I think this would be a lot better of a place. And I won't go into too much, because then this could get into the news and politics and current events, and I don't want to go there. It's not what this is about. But if we all took a page from the life of Jesus, I think we'd all be in a way better place. Unfortunately, we have people in this world, and specifically this country, that don't do that. As Christians, a lot of Christians get a bad name, because what people think of are the Christians who are damning everybody and condemning everybody, and you are wrong, and you're going to hell, and you're going to do this, and if you don't do this, you're never going to go to heaven. And that's a lot of the Christianity that we've all grown up with, is if you do that, if you do that, if you do that, you're a Christian, you can't do that, you can't say that. Well, guess what? I love that the brand of Christianity that I like, and that what works for me, is I'd rather be from a church that talks about what we do and what we do believe in versus what we don't do. So guess what? We're a church that serves. We're a church that prays. We're a church that loves on people of all walks of life. And I think that's been what a lot of people have left church because of things like that, is that you walk in and you feel instant judgment. Like, I could never be here. I'm not good enough to be here. And then you don't come back. Sorry, that got off topic, but pray every day and often. I pray throughout the day a lot. I do my big prayers, I call it, like either in the morning or at night, where I pray for like a million things. But during the day, I say a lot of those small prayers for people. If somebody is on my heart, then I say a quick little prayer. And that's what it's what I do. So Lori, I agree. You pray every day, and you pray often, and pray for your enemies, and pray for those people who are lost. Those are the people that we need to be reaching. We need to reach those that are lost, that need Jesus. Like, you meet those people, or you see people on TV, and you're like, Lord, I hope Jesus just touched their heart so that they, act right. So you just pray. You got to pray. You pray for people. That's one of the biggest things we can do during a time like this. Renee says, pray. Cappy says, too many chiefs, not enough Indians, meaning we need to look to God. I think in this, where we are now, is that we're looking to the wrong chief, so to speak. And I'll leave it at that. And we have one standard and one chief, and he lives upstairs, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so the next verse here is from the book of Esther. Esther, verse 4:14. Chapter 4, verse 14. If you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief for the Jews will arise from some other place, but you and your relatives will die. Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time like this? So what that's saying is it's what I was talking about before, is it's timing. You're in this position, in this place right now for a reason. What are you going to do with it? What are you doing with it? Because guess what? If you don't do something, no one may do anything, and you could lose people. Or you're missing opportunities to make new friends, or to touch somebody's life, or to a simple hey, how are you doing today, or can I pray for you, or hey, I like that shirt, or hey, your makeup looks great, whatever. Something so small can impact someone so deeply. So what are you going to do with where you are now? You know what I mean? And I can talk about it all day, and it's hard. It's not easy. None of these things are easy. None of it's easy because we haven't lived that way for a long time. And if you haven't lived that way for a long time, it's not just going to change overnight. Like, you're not automatically going to just not like, I choose joy, but it's not easy. You have to consciously make that choice, and you will slip out of it frequently, right? So you have to at least attempt it. You have to try it. You can't give up. You can't say that, oh, I can't do it, it's too hard. If I did that, if we all did that, we wouldn't be where we are in life. We just gave up. We wouldn't be anywhere. We wouldn't, you can't do that. So we're given these gifts to use and to utilize. Cappy says, lift each other up always. It takes such a little bit to say, hey, shoot somebody a message on Facebook or a text or whatever, and just say, hey, good morning. And even if you don't have time to start a whole conversation, that's fine. But it lets somebody know that you're thinking about them. You're thinking about them. And, like when we talk about our dream team at church, and that's our volunteers, right? The people who serve. So people who are good with greeting people, and they're the ones you see at the front door. They're the ones that are saying, hey, good morning, welcome to Radius. They have a gift to make people feel warm and welcome. And that's that gift. Small, it might not be a huge gift. You might not think it's huge, but somebody walking in those doors for the first time, or someone who had a really bad night, and you walk in and you hear someone say, hey, good morning. Hey, how are you? Hey, grab some coffee. Hey, I like your shoes. Whatever it is, something so small can mean so much to people. I kid you not. Angelique, oh, Ange, here we go. I don't wanna. I can see her face too. She's pouting. I don't wanna choose joy. It's too hard. I don't want to do it. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And the effort is worth it. Let's see. Renee says, in my makeup group, we do that every morning. We hit up 30 people to uplift daily. Super easy. It doesn't take much. Take a second of your time and just say, boop, hey, good morning, thinking about you. Like with Angelique, I'll send a silly little meme or some, video that I saw on TikTok or whatever, and that I know she'll like. And I do the same thing with my sister. And just little things that if someone's on your heart and you're thinking about somebody, step in and just say something, because that might be your purpose for that moment. It's just something so simple. And that's why they put you up there, because you're so warm and welcoming. Thanks. Sometimes when we were at church and still meeting in person, and it was Sunday morning, I'd be so tired, either having gone out or something the night before. And I'm like, suck it up, Marissa. You can't look like a hot mess greeting people at church. Sometimes you got to force yourself to do those things. They don't come easy. Angelique says, or another animal we need to add to our farm. Yeah, in our heads, we're planning to have a huge animal rescue at some point and rescue everything. And I mean, from like dogs and cats. And we just saw like a curly cow that we said, is that what that was? A curly cow has like curly hair. Don't know what it is. It's verbal. So that's all I have content wise. I would love to know, we talked about this a little bit last week, about what you wanted to be when you were a kid and kind of what you gravitated toward. So I would love to know what is, now thinking of yourself, now I know a lot of people don't like to talk about themselves, and we're our own worst critics, I think. But I would love to know one of your gifts. Like, go ahead and put it in there. Like, what are one of your gifts that you may or may not be utilizing right now? I would love to know. So go ahead and put those in the comments. Yeah, Cappy's got cows. She's got a very judgy cow that makes really judgmental faces at you, makes you feel shamed. So go ahead and put those in the comments. I would love to know, what are some of your gifts, or what is one of your gifts, and you may or may not be using them now. I would just love to know and kind of see what's out there and what you guys are thinking about. Meet you. Singing. That's a great gift. That's a gift that not many people have, and I wish I had that gift. I would love to have that. I mean, I sing anyway, but even though nobody wants to hear it. But that's a great gift, Renee. Angelique says writing. Angelique, that is completely your gift. A gift of words. It's not just you're writing your stories. It's something as simple as your texts, your Facebook posts. When you're praying, you have a gift of words, and the ability to emote through them. And like, my mom has even commented on that, Angelique, about your ability to write. She's like, I love her posts, all of her posts. So that is absolutely a gift. Renee says, but she's too shy. My daughter is shy too, and she's got an amazing voice. Why is it, you guys, that people that have these God-given voices are too shy to get on stage and sing, and then people like me who would do nothing but love to get on stage and sing, and I can't sing? That's not fair, God. Maybe God knew I would be like a stage hog and I'd never like give the mic to anybody else. Maybe that's why. But Cappy, I'm not putting yours on there. Inside joke. Yes. Renee also is expressing. Yeah, expressing emotions is really hard, and it's not easy for everybody, but making people laugh. Lori, I agree. And Lori, and I'm glad that there's people in here that I know. I know personally, because like, Lori, you have a way of making people feel welcome and loved, and that's not easy for some people. And I think that's absolutely a gift. Me, I'm kind of like, I can talk to you, but I'm like, do I hug? I'm awkward. Do I? It's very natural for you, Lori. So I agree. Okay, there's no name on this one, but it says, when I'm in worship, God reveals things to me about others and wants me to pray over them. These are specific things I start to second guess and think maybe it's wrong, and then I doubt. Doubt is a bad word. But I understand. I think during a time like worship, whether you're in a church setting with others or you are at home by yourself in worship, it's a time to open up your heart and to really listen and to feel. And I think I had said that before and earlier, and I said that, yeah, sometimes God puts somebody on your heart, whether it's while you're working and there's that thought of somebody comes into your head, whatever. God puts somebody there for a reason. So it's either to say a prayer for them or to reach out to them or something. You got to listen to those little signs because they're there for a reason. So, but doubt, second guessing yourself, is a very common thing, but listen to it. That's a gift. If God is putting people on your heart and speaking directly to you, it's a great thing. Oh, it's Amy. Hi, Amy. Yeah, I mean, that's to be in worship and to be charismatic and to really give it to God, and he's putting somebody on your heart. Don't dismiss it. Listen to him. So that's a good one, Amy, and I believe that. And Amy, you have an amazing heart to serve, and your eagerness to serve. Like you've definitely got some gifts there, girl, for sure. Absolutely. See, look at all these gifted and talented people here, and it's like, but what are you doing with it? Are you doing anything with those talents? Are you helping people better themselves? Are you helping people to know God? Are you helping people take that first step to giving their life to Jesus? Like, what are you doing with that influence, with those gifts? So that's the question. That's kind of what I'm going to leave this on is to pray on that this week, to pray on your gifts and to pray. And I'm going to read a prayer that talks about this, but that's what I want you guys to think about this week is to be conscious of what you do during your day, how you speak, who you speak to, and really pay attention to the influence you have over the people in your life. There's another comment. Want to be a hero and save people and comfort, love them, make them happy. That's a bit me. I have a bit of a superhero complex. That's what they call that. That's why I don't know if you guys knew, I wrote my own comic book and made myself a superhero. And it's this, I want people to love themselves. I want people to feel good. So I get that, Cappy. And you do. People love you, Cappy. People are attracted to you and they want to be around you. Okay, so I'm going to close out with a prayer. It's not my personal prayer. It's a prayer that's a part of this plan, but it's a really good one. So I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it is kind of how I feel. If you guys have any prayer requests, you can always put them in here, or you can send me a message and they get prayed over. I pray over. Anytime you ask me to pray, I stop, drop, and pray. So please make sure that you, reach out to people. If you have any comments, prayer requests, send them over. And, all that good stuff. Okay, I'm going to read this prayer and we'll get out of here. All right, let's pray. God, I thank you for everything you've given me and for every opportunity you've placed in my path. Show me all the strengths, the characteristics, learnings, influence, and provisions you've given me that are unique to me. Reveal to me how they all come together to point to your purpose for my life. I want to use the things in my past for your kingdom. Help me bring glory and honor to you. In Jesus' name, amen. So, short and sweet prayer, but I think it's important that we ask God to give us clarity, to show us what the purpose of all this stuff is. Renee, I see it. No problem. No worries. I get autocorrect all the time, so you're fine. So let's just think about that, you guys, because I think that all of us have some amazing gifts that we could really impact people. Shh, Oscar, hush. That we could really shh. Oh my God, sorry, he's such a whiny crybaby. Things that we could really, impact others. You know what I mean? So, shh. Oh my God, come here. Do I need to hold you? Okay, come here. Come here. Oh my God, you're getting fat in your collar. Okay, come here, Oscar. Never mind. Okay, somebody's coming to my front gate. I don't know who it is. All right. Anyways, you guys, that's not Ferdinand Angela. That's Oscar being a crybaby. Come here then, and I'll show you so you can see what I'm doing. This is my old man, Oscar. This is old Grouch. Look, Oski, look at this you. Look at it, so cute. Shh. You stop being a grouch. And this is Luna. Come here, Luna. Give me a kiss. Okay, she's not gonna jump up. Anyways, I love you guys, and I'm always praying for you. Please feel free, share this if you feel like there's anyone that needs to see it. These all go up on my YouTube channel too, so if you want to watch it later or share it that way, you can always do that. I hope you guys all have a great week. I get to start packing because in like a month I'm moving and I'm just not ready. I don't like packing. I love you guys, and God bless. Mwah.